Okay, before we get started, I know that everybody has been calling and asking about the Synergy Banning Electric. And guess what? So everybody out there in TV land, they have run out of money. So this is the letter that Banning Electric has sent to me, and I want to just read it to you. It says, Dear Sun Lakes Community Awareness Meeting participants, thank you for attending our Synergy Banning Electric Utility presentation on May 6th. We are so thrilled to tell you about the SEAM program and the free energy efficiency measures that are available to the City of Banning Electric utility customers. The SEAM program has been in place for several years, but participation numbers have skyrocketed since our Sun Lakes presentation last month. Synergy currently has more appointments scheduled for energy audits and direct install measures than ever before. I have been told there is even a wait list to return voicemails due to the extreme volume of calls coming in each day. To ensure we have funding for current residential and commercial projects that are already scheduled in Sun Lakes and throughout the City of Banning, we may need to slow down or pause any new projects from time to time. We are thrilled by the large number of Sun Lakes residents interested in the SEAM program and look forward to working with everyone. There has been such an overwhelming success that we are now have a large wait list established. Please have patience with us, and we will get to everyone who wants to participate in the SEAM program. If you have any questions, please call us at 951-922-3260, Monday through Thursday between the hours of 7 and 4. This is Amber Rockwell, City of Banning Electric Utility. Again, I apologize. I had no idea that we'd run out of money so quickly. But I don't think they understood that Banning, Sun Lakes has 3327 homes. So hopefully the ones that are on the list to the end of this week will get serviced. Anybody else that doesn't have an appointment this week, you're going to be put on a wait list, and they will call you back when they have the extra funds. City Council has to approve the funds, and so hopefully City Council will be very generous with us. Let's hope they will be. Okay, so right now I'm going to introduce Officer Rodriguez. He is our liaison from the police department. He's going to give a brief update.
Hello, everybody. I know it's been a little while that I haven't been here. For the last month of May, I, the homeless liaison officer of the Banning Police Department, made 19 arrests. 12 of those were felony arrests, 7 of those misdemeanors. I fielded 37 calls for service, referenced transient-related activity, and we had 3 cleanups, one of which was done by our streets department, and 2 of which were done by myself and our captain. Any questions? Yes. I had 19 arrests. 12 of those arrests were felony arrests. 7 were misdemeanors. We had 37 calls for service, referenced transient-related activity that I personally went to. And we did 3 cleanups, one of which was conducted by the streets department, and then 2 by myself and my captain. Questions?
Just real quick, you said that you had 1 cleanup?
3 cleanups.
What was cleaned up?
The homeless trash.
Oh, where, not the people themselves, just trash is?
Unfortunately, ma'am, no, not the people themselves, just the
I'm not
trash.
sure what you mean by, cleanup, whether they're getting people out or if it's just the trash they've left behind.
It's just the trash they left behind. Any other questions? No, thank you guys. Nice to see everybody.
Thank you. Okay, just remember, after you can ask a question, but you must have a microphone, otherwise they can't hear you out in TV land. Okay, so please make sure. I've got Shannon over here and Doug over there for the microphones. So just please make sure that you wait until you get a microphone in front of you. Thank you. Now I'm going to introduce Mike Romero. He's the director of Securitas.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Michelle. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mike. I'm your Director of Security here at Salt Lakes. Next in command is Lieutenant Roman here with me. I'm just going to go over a few important updates and reminders to help keep our community safe and enjoyable for all. Golf course night patrols. So we're going to increase our foot patrols on the golf courses between the hours of 9 p.m. and 6 a.m. My officers are going to be conducting random checks and using vehicle light bars from a distance for visibility. So please understand that if that it's for your own safety and theirs, that you please remain distant from them. If you have the need to ask a question, you can contact the front desk and ask, do you have one of your guys out doing patrols? They'll be more than happy to respond to you and let you know if they are in your area. The reason for these checks is because we want to make sure that the houses that are on the golf courses are also being monitored and checked on frequently, especially those vacant homes. Since we have seen a rise in calls about suspicious activity in certain parts of the community, we're trying to cover as much ground as possible, especially during the evenings. So call us, let us know if you have any questions or concerns. Don't challenge my staff. They're in the position of trying to make sure that everything is clear for you guys. Hence, we always ask that you call us directly so that we can get some clarification for you. Another concern that's been brought up to our attention is we've had some underage golf cart use in the community, as you can tell. We've recently seen some underage drivers zipping around in golf carts, and when I say underage, I mean definitely still learning long division. So they're not at any position to be driving, folks. As fun as it may seem, it's illegal and unsafe for minors to operate golf carts in the community. We know it's tempting to hand over the keys to a 10-year-old grandson who swears that they're great at Mario Kart, but refrain from doing that. It is for their own safety and the community as well. If you guys happen to report or see any minors driving the golf carts, let us know where they're at. I'll dispatch an officer to go check on that and see if we can pull them over and make contact with the homeowner. Noise complaints have also seen a rise here in the community. We've had several complaints about nighttime noises, including barking dogs, individuals moving into the community late in the evenings. The city of Banning does enforce a noise ordinance after 10 p.m. While we can respond and document these disturbances, we can't stop someone from technically moving in. What we can do is respectfully ask for their consideration. We will enforce the rules and regulations, which means if they're not complying, we will issue a citation or a warning and ask them to come back the following day out of respect for everybody. Everybody is entitled to their peace and quiet during those hours. So if you have a noise complaint, please do not hesitate in calling us. We will respond accordingly. We will document and take whatever action planning and compliance deems necessary at that point. What security can and can't do. Just a quick reminder, security can address concerns and advise residents to possible consequences through planning and compliance, but we cannot force anybody off their own property. We cannot run background checks on those that are moving into Sun Lakes. They're simply not within our role. My department is limited to certain legalities of what we can and cannot do. So quick reminder, you can take a moment to go into the Lifestyles magazine. We do have a list that was recently published of what security can and cannot do. However, we will do our best to make everybody's concerns and raise attention to whatever we need to appease the community as much as we can. We're here to provide a service. We're here to make sure that we do our due diligence for you guys, and I'm going to make sure that that's enforced. Every rule and regulation will be enforced here in Salt Lakes under my watch. Summer reminders and rules and regulations enforcement. As summer kicks in, we'll be more active in enforcing parking rules and community regulations. Please don't park in marked no parking zones, block driveways, mailboxes, or fire hydrants. Keep noise down, leash your dogs, and make sure your guests follow these rules, especially the pool rules. These small actions go a long way in maintaining a peaceful environment. We will be enforcing rules and regulations, folks, so if you see somebody breaking a rule, let us know. We'll be out there. Thank you for all your cooperation and continued support. Let us do our part to keep Salt Lake safe, respectful, and enjoyable for everyone. Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions for Mike?
I actually do, Michelle.
Okay.
So, Mike, the question I have is, we have seen kind of an increase in people that are here on Sundays, and it can be somebody who's maybe doing some landscaping or some work in a home. How are they getting in the gates if we shouldn't have workers here on Sundays?
When residents call in, they don't give us the thorough details. They could be telling us that, hey, my cousin's coming in to visit for that day. That person can end up being an actual contractor, sneaking into the community to start making, doing work. What you folks can do, if you do observe a neighbor doing any type of work on an unauthorized date, we will go out there and we will let that person know, you are not supposed to be here. Under whose authority did you come in? I hold my officers accountable for their actions. That I have zero tolerance when it comes to that. If my officers are breaking the rules, they will be held accountable. The residents will be held accountable as well. So if they're breaking the rules and letting contractors in to do work and it's observed, they will get a notice of citation or violation at that point. So it's not that we're letting them in, they're sneaking in at some point. So we are observing that though.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome. Ma'am, you had a question over here as well?
No rules. It's on the committee, who knows the rules?
Yes. Hello? Oh, I am? Okay. Recently, I just heard about RV break-ins. There was an RV break-in.
So we did have, not recently, I would say about 3 weeks ago, we did have an RV break-in. We did monitor the perimeter as well. We did find the individual lurking around the RV lot. Unfortunately, we didn't apprehend the individual when the incident took place. What we did confirm is that this individual did not take anything out of any of the vehicles that were inside the lot. So it raised some concerns, it raised some suspicion. Were these targeted break-ins or theft occurrences where this person was looking for something specifically? Based on our reports and findings and what the residents that were affected, they were informing me that nothing was taken from any of their properties or their vehicles. So it's something that we're working along with Banning PD, and they're also helping us out as much as they can to help us come to some kind of resolution. But at this point, that's as much detail that I can give you moving forward.
Hi, Mike. Do we have standard hours for gate 5?
Gate number 5 does have standard hours. Hours of operation for gate 5 is 7:30 a.m. to 5 in the afternoon, and we are closed on Sundays.
Okay. Is there only open till 3:30 most days?
Saturdays, actually, they close at 3:30. Yeah. That's gate 5 off of Highland Springs.
Yeah. Hi, Mike. I'm Ann Heisinger. I'm one of the pool people, and I had a couple questions. One is, during the summertime, I noticed there's someone that sits at the table and is supposed to be signing people in. However, I don't see a lot of supervision going on, and one of the things that myself and others are concerned about is there sometimes are larger families with lots of kids that are coming in without a resident there, and I don't see whoever that individual is at the table doing anything about that. So I'd like to know if something can be done about that to secure, the pool for the
Absolutely.
residents.
I'm actually working along with Chris and that department. We are not we are enforcing rules and regulations in the pool. However, I don't have an officer to post at the pool right now. I understand, to my understanding, First Time Residential hired a different company to come in to do the pool monitoring for you guys. My officers will go to the pool from time to time and check periodically if they have the availability to go to, because they are responding to other calls. But when we do get calls about pool concerns, such as, hey, there's a family here with an excessive amount of kids, they're splashing around, they're making excessive noise, and we know for a fact that there's nobody out there, my guys will go out there accordingly and respond and help you guys out and determine whether we need to remove that person or not from the pool. The sign-in sheet, is it a factor? We do want everybody to sign in. We want everybody to check in. We want to know who's using the facilities. It's residents only. Residents and guests need to be with the residents at all time. So if you have knowledge of a guest attending the facilities without a resident, we will go out there and have them removed. It's just standard policy for Sun Lakes, okay? So yeah, we will enforce the pool rules. If you see somebody breaking them, call us. We'll take care of it for you.
Yeah, hi. So I actually have two questions. How much monitoring is done at the main gate or perhaps the north side or the other gate as far as people someone just riding their bicycle inside Sun Lakes.
So-
And they don't look like a resident.
My officers are knowledgeable when it comes to who's been coming in and out. They're senior officers that have records, whether it be visual or them printing out individual passes. This is a complaint that we see from time to time, especially those residents that are driving into the community that see maybe a pedestrian walking through the back, or a pedestrian riding a bike, or somebody that does not look like a resident. But those individuals have actually been confirmed, whether they be help for other residents, people that work here in the community. We do make it a point to stop somebody that does not look or that we don't recognize coming in and out on a frequent basis. Perfect example, I did see somebody try to come in through the back, which is through the exit side of gate number 1, which is not encouraged since it's potentially dangerous. You need to use your sidewalk. Pedestrian gates are there for a reason. But I make it a point, get out of the office, stop the person, ask them, can I help you? Is there a reason why you weren't able to check in with the front gate? And their response is, oh, I just forgot my resident key. Well, for your own safety, please make sure that you have your key with you and continue to use the pedestrian side. It's one of the reasons why Sun Lake's invested on that fence. We've updated the locks up there. It's for everybody's own safety. We don't want to have any accidents where somebody gets hit by a vehicle coming out of the exit side. Your next question, sir?
Yeah, and Sunday over by the South Clubhouse, so I saw this young man riding an electric scooter around and around and around. I mean, he was going fairly fast, but is it something that I should call in or what?
Absolutely. You can call in. The issue is it falls under your electric vehicle category, which is almost like an electric scooter that's used in the community. However, the person that's in an electric scooter is just riding in an unsafe manner. You can absolutely report that person. Let us know the location, what they look like, where they were headed. Any details are always helpful for us to determine where that person's going to be next. We'll definitely put a stop to it. Absolutely.
If you have an emergency on the weekend and you need a contractor, like you've had a water leak, are there things that can be done? I mean, getting someone in that gate to take care of that problem?
That is acceptable, absolutely. Summer's here, folks. I know how summers can be excruciating here in Banning. We can get temperatures of 100+ degrees. Your air conditioner breaks, it's a Sunday, you need to get it repaired, I'm gonna let them in. Service emergencies such as air conditioning, water leaks, gas leaks, those are considered emergencies. Getting your towel done on your countertop is not an emergency. So stuff like that, rest assured, my officers will enforce the policy, but we will let emergency repairs in for you.
One more question on these homes that are being broken into and occupied. Are those homes that have been left vacant, or is there some evidence that someone is actually living there, and who has priority in this situation? I would think it would be the person that could show proof of occupancy. I don't quite get that.
So those types of situations, when we do encounter, let's just say a squatter in a vacant home, we call Banning PD to come out and assist on those types of calls. My officers are not armed, and we cannot encounter certain individuals to take certain actions for our own safety. We do have what we call a watch list on vacant homes. We know which homes are vacant here in the community. We will make it a point to go and check on these homes from time to time to make sure that they're secured. If we find any suspicious activity within the perimeter, our immediate action is to contact Banning PD to let them know what our findings are, and then they will come out and determine if there is somebody in the home or not. We will do our thorough report, let administration know, hey, you might want to take extra precautions, safety precautions for this home, better locking mechanisms, or whatever action necessary for them to secure those homes better. But we are aware of
But there's no way you can get them out even if they can't show proof that they're living there?
That is correct, ma'am.
Form of ID?
That is correct.
Can you explain? It doesn't really make sense.
So state law does not allow me to remove anybody from a property. There
Okay.
are certain procedures that need to be taken through the courts for them to execute certain orders, and then the courts will determine whether or not that person should be removed or not. There's a lot of squatter protections here in California, as you folks know. You can educate yourselves on the website in State of California Gov, and those laws will self-explain themselves of what they're entitled and what their rights are. Same thing with PD. They can come out, but they do need an order to remove certain individuals if they can determine that that person's been living there for some time or not.
Has that ever happened with homes that are actually occupied and legally owned by someone?
We've had incidents like that in the past. However, I'm not really in the position to disclose much of that information because it's really out of my department's category. Thank you for your time, folks.
We've got a lot of speakers right now, so if you have any other questions, you can always get a hold of Mike. He's actually here all the time, so. Okay, before we get started with our other speakers, I just wanted to give you, Parole was not able to make it today. They were busy. So I'm going to tell you what state parole does. A parole agent, also known as a parole officer, is a specialized law enforcement professional who supervises and assists individuals released from prison on parole. They play a crucial role in the reintegration process, ensuring parolees adhere to the terms of their parole and providing support to help them successfully transition back into society. Parole agents conduct regular check-in, home visits, and workplace visits to monitor parolees' behavior and ensure that they are complying with parole conditions. They help parolees access resources like employment, housing, rehabilitation programs, and other services that facilitate their successful reentry into the community. Parole agents manage a caseload of parolees, developing individualized rehabilitation plans and coordinating with various service providers. Parole agents have law enforcement powers, including the authority to arrest parolees for violations and testify in court. They maintain accurate records of parolees' interactions, progress, and any violations. Parole agents collaborate with community organizations, social service agencies, and other stakeholders to support parolees' integration. Parole agents access the risks and needs of parolees to determine appropriate supervision and support. I'm sorry they weren't able to make it, but business calls. So we're going to change this up a little bit, and I'm actually going to have, is he here? Oh, there he is. Sergeant Cedeno. We changed it a little bit. So if you want to have all your officers come up here, we got permission from the DA's office.
You're good, sir?
You're good.
So you can either come up here and speak, or you can sit down here and always I'll turn these on.
Have to? You have to. I got a loud voice. I know.
No, you don't have to see it on. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
So these are, this one's on.
Have a seat, guys.
So you guys can have a seat.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Juan Cedeno. I'm a sergeant, Riverside County Sheriff's Office, currently assigned to Cabazon Station. We have a brand new team to the station, the Special Teams Unit, which consists of 3 different details. One is a crime suppression unit, which has 3 deputies. One's assigned to Cherry Valley, and one's assigned to Morongo. Another one's the Cabazon beats, the areas, the mountains, the areas that are unincorporated county. So our Cabazon Station is located off of Main Street. You know where the Morongo Casino's at? Across the freeway. That's our station, okay? So anything that has to go through this whole entire county when it comes to law enforcement or emergency response, we're pretty much always on top of everything. We assist the local PDs, like here we have Banning PD, Beaumont PD, SCHP also helping us out on the highways. When it gets out of control, like we have the local fires or anything of emergency type, we show up and help out. There's like a severe chaotic event where a really bad person does something really bad in the barricade, they call us for help. We go assist as much as we can. We'll surround the location. If we need more help, then we pop smoke, ask for more help from the SWAT team comes out. Helicopters, canines, I mean, everybody who's available going down the freeway will show up and help us out. Any chaotic event, anybody who's wearing uniform is going to show up and help each other out. We work side by side with our local agencies, taking care of any matters that come up. Obviously here, this part of town is patrolled by Banning PD, correct? If they call us for extra help, we're always going to show up, okay? So again, for our location, we cover a whole lot. We start from the edge of Calimesa, the county line, which is San Bernardino County, Riverside County. We go all the way out to, the 10 and the 60 meet, Desert Hot Springs, that's us. Keep going east, that's still us. Windy Point, Valero gas station, all the way to the tram, going up to Palm Springs. We're actually responsible for the whole entire area. If anything happens up there, God forbid, somebody gets hurt or gets stuck, they call us. We contact our Riverside, our rescue unit. They're the mountain climber. The guys weigh like 105 pounds, but they can climb forever, right? They go on to help us out. Obviously, 'cause all this gear and these guys work out a lot, they have a hard time with mountains, right? But it's a big, giant, cohesive unit where everybody takes care of each other. And from north to south, all the hilltops of Beaumont and Banning, that's us. Go over the mountains in San Bernardino County, and we travel all the way down these mountains over here. If something major goes down, we have a helicopter, we go out, search and rescue, or bad guys getting away from us, all the way to the edge of Hemet, okay? So it's a pretty good amount of ground we gotta cover, and still drive around with smiles on our face, right? That's what we're here for, help people out. So when it comes to our crime suppression unit, again, one of my partners, they're assigned to Cherry Valley. Another was Whitewater, North Palm Springs, and Morongo, and it's really, really tight-knit community out here. So anytime you hear information or anything that goes out or you're concerned, everybody's on social media nowadays, right? Yeah? Something goes out, we get word of it, and we try to make the best we can just to help out, right? Just because the problem started in Banning doesn't mean it's going to stay in Banning. They need our assistance, we're going to come out and give them a hand. So once again, I'm Sergeant Juan Cedeno. I'm going to go introduce my partners here is Deputy Rick Torres. Just talk about your...
Hi, I'm Deputy Rick Torres. I am part of the Cabazon Crime Suppression Unit, primarily assigned to matters within the Cherry Valley, unincorporated Beaumont, and Banning areas. So pretty much anything that occurs from that location, anything that our investigations take us to that lead to those areas, that's going to be primarily me with the assistance of my partners. For the most part, you'll see that there's a lot of nexus to people that live in this community. There's always something that goes on, but that's primarily what we're here for, and that's my main focus. Sorry to jump ahead. Also, the question that young lady had about tenancy issues, just FYI, from a law enforcement perspective, anything where it can be, I guess, confirmed that an individual does not occupy the home, is not legally an owner of the home, it's a bank-owned home, there's a misconception of what rights squatters have. If a person's not the actual resident of the home, the owner of the home, and they cannot prove they've paid property taxes within a span of 5 years and done some sort of beautification of the property, they have zero right to that. So law enforcement usually takes care of that. And they're the ones that need to be called for those things. Once everything's confirmed and set in motion, there's no court orders unless there are some sort of documentation they might have on their end where they can prove that property taxes have been taken care of to that point, and they can document any type of beautification. All right. I noticed that the security guy was kind of wasn't sure what to do about that, but yeah, it's always going to be the PD issue. All right. I'll turn it over.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Deputy Rail. My primary function is CBAT. That stands for Community Behavioral Assessment Team. So basically, I deal for all the calls for service regarding mental health. I ride around with a county clinician. You guys, I don't know, they work with Banning and Beaumont too, so I'm very well connected with both of them, Miss Dela Cruz and Mr. Lopez. So they ride with me, will respond to calls for service, but on the days they're not with me, they're with Banning PD and Beaumont PD. So we basically will be in each other's city back and forth, but that's my primary function. So that's it. Next.
Hello, good afternoon. Deputy Ron Azendorf. On the team, I'm assigned to the Morongo Indian Reservation and Casino for Morongo. I handle a lot of fraud cases within the casino. Majority fraud cases, honestly, and then a lot of Indian reservation crimes. So after this meeting, if you'd like to talk to me, come up and say hello. I have business cards, and happy to be here.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you again for having us. My name's Mike Hinkle. I'm a deputy with the Sheriff's Department. I'm primarily out of the city of Cabazon. Wow. It's hard to follow these gentlemen when they speak so well. So I work for the city of Calamasa. I apologize. I'm their POP deputy. And my jobs consist of anything from homeless outreach to extra traffic enforcement, writing grants for the city to get extra traffic enforcement, which ranges from anything from stop signs, street lights, speeding, DUIs. Work closely with the city council there, any citizen complaints that may come out.
I'm so sorry.
You should have answered
When you're ready. So anyway, thanks again very much for letting us come out and speak to you guys. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
So again, this is our pretty much a brand new team for the station in Cabazon. Investigators are really busy handling a lot of reports and incidents that take a long time. So we're going to pretty much be the muscle for our station. When something goes down and they need immediate attention, or somebody out there with quick wit and some skills, they're going to call us to help them out. Just this collection right here, I'm missing one of my guys. He's currently in military orders, still in reserve. I mean, you're talking about over 100 years of experience with my whole entire crew, and each one of us has a really good, solid, strong heart, and they're ready to work and help the communities, okay? So if you have any questions, feel free to let us know. We're here. Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions? Oh, right here.
Thank you, deputies, for being here today. As a retired registered nurse, you know, my concern is always being on the lookout for those that are homeless and or having problems with their mental health. And I believe in the past that I've been in contact with, I think it's Officer Angel from Banning that is a homeless outreach person.
So they constantly switch people. I've been consistent for a little over a year, but I know they go back and forth with who their primary deputy is for that.
Okay.
But they do have the same clinician, so.
Okay, so I have two questions. The first one is when there's a concern about someone that's homeless, is it just in the city of Banning that you're involved, or the city of Banning and Beaumont?
So I basically handle the county areas, and then if Banning or Beaumont ask for assistance during the days that I have my clinicians, then I'll go there and assist them.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
So should a call be placed then to the city's police department? If someone's you know, in concern that I see and I realize, you know, it's an elderly person, it's a hot day, you know, they need attention. And that's the reason why I'm asking who to call. But then secondly, I'm not clear about what are the resources. I hear a lot of different things about when something happens and the police or yourself get involved in that. Where are the resources? How do the people get there? And how is it that we continue to have more homeless people showing up here? Just like, I can't believe the number that are here. Where are they coming from, and where should they be going for assistance?
So I know most of the homeless people do stay in Banning and Beaumont. Will go back and forth. Cabazon doesn't have that many because we don't have much out there except a casino. So obviously they're going to go where the food and the shelter is most prevalent. So if you see someone and you see they're going through a hard time, you don't have to call 911 necessarily. You can call the non-emergency line. And that's where you can say, hey, I see this person struggling, possible mental health issues. And if we can respond, we can talk to them. If they don't meet that criteria, there's so many other resources that we can provide to them, local resources too. So we primarily hand out resources that are in the San Gorgonio Pass, so all local.
Just to also, I don't know if you were here when Officer Rodriguez, he's our homeless liaison here in the city of Banning. Yeah, yes, he was here earlier, so he gave an update and said he was doing a cleanup and everything. So you could call the non-emergency number. Yes.
So
Is there a list of?
I can add a little more for you, ma'am. When it comes to the list, you go online also to the Riverside County Sheriff's Office or Banning, just look for mental health services, also through our DPSS, right? They will also have a lot of services. Well, here's the thing. If you see someone in the area, it doesn't matter where you see them. If you give us an intersection, whatever city it can be in, it could be Banning, Beaumont, Hemet, San Jacinto. Whenever you give us a cross streets, that's how we can pretty much check the computer. Dispatch is really good. Of intersection of cross and don't walk, that's in such town, we'll call this agency. It always comes down to wherever you're calling us from. If we can't track you down, we also use the cell phones to figure out where you're at. Because, hey, I don't know where I'm at, it's late, it's dark, but there's somebody out here in the middle of the road. Don't know they're moving, we don't know what happened, they maybe got hit by a car. Do you know where you're at? Like, I don't. Okay. Don't hang up, leave the phone on. Dispatch will be called, hey, I need you to ping that phone, find out where she's calling from so we can track you down. And that's how we find a lot of people, right? People who need the help, and also bad people, right? But we do our homework with that. So if you ever do call us, do me a favor, do not hang up the phone. Stay on the line. Just so yell, and somebody here, and you hang up. We're like, who was that? Okay? So, but yeah, a lot of resources online, and if you want to talk to a partner, I'm sure he'll get you in touch with that.
We all have the same pamphlet that we hand out. It's just we all share the same one through the PDs and the Sheriff's Department. So if you get a hold of a copy, that lists a lot of good resources.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, just a question. Speaking with one of the pastors at one of the churches in Cabazon, he told me that if a freight train is going through that area and it breaks down, I believe there's 2 railroad crossings, nobody can get in other than a helicopter, and it has to be less than 40 miles per hour, the wind. Is that correct?
No. When it comes, that would be weird if it couldn't fly past 40 miles an hour. No, so right now they're in the process. There've been long talks about creating some sort of a bridge system going up and over or below. But in the meantime, when those trains do get stuck right there, there's other avenues to get through, but a lot of times it's 4x4. For an emergency type of services, we will respond in our vehicles, but we have to go like way south in the hills, like the county hills. We're out there. So we're always out there driving around because when rains come through, it washes out some of the roads and we got to know what's going on out there. But when emergency services, we will talk to the train, hey, go forward a couple more feet or come back a couple more feet. But yes, it's not only there. How many times you heard right here in Pennsylvania, right? Right there in, what's the next one? California, right? So that's something that when you do see those type of issues, call the Union Pacific or you call a local agency to give you resources, and the more you let them know, hopefully they can hurry up that process, right? But it's like, it's very detrimental for us. There's been a few times when the train's stuck, and unfortunately some of my partners had to skip over the train to get to a problem to help a deputy out, right? So that's unsafe for all of us, right? So, did that answer your question, sir? Oh, the helicopter, if we need it, those guys are phenomenal. I flew in helicopters for quite a while in our team. Those guys can squeeze through whatever they can. They're not afraid. I'm kind of scary, but they're good, you know? So, oh, yes. Doesn't like it.
Hi, if I understood you correctly, you only cover unincorporated areas. So if I can't just call you, I have to start with the Banning PD. Is that correct?
For the most part, yes. If you're in the city of Banning, and you know you're in the city of Banning, most likely dispatch from Banning will get you, right? And be mindful that whenever you call 911, wherever you're at, it could be CHP picking you up first, it could be Banning, it could be Beaumont, it could be us. We don't always control where that phone call is gonna go. Now, when a major event happens, okay, and 10, 20, 100, some people start calling, those phones will start getting bogged down by whatever system we have that's available and start sending you to the most open line that it's available. Okay?
So you come in upon the city of Banning's request if they need extra help?
Correct. If they need us, yes.
Thank you.
But if it's something, if you're like the borderline between Banning and say Cabazon Beat area, it doesn't matter. Whichever dispatch gets it, they'll find out where you're at and then we'll go. If we need their help, we'll call them over too. So, yes, sir.
Good afternoon to you.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
About the airship response time from Hemet, what is the average turnkey response to our area here?
On any regular given day, when there's one cloud, they're not flying, just flying. They'll fly. No, it all depends what's going on, sir. Because you think if you, who here's a truck driver, former truck driver, you can only drive so many, hours per day, right? Same thing as pilots. They can only fly so many hours per day. So when they're up about doing their thing, they land. The next group comes in. They got to do their pre-checks and make sure the bird's ready to go. Take all their gear with them. When it's all packed up, ready to go for the day, on average they take about 10, 15 minutes to take off. But most of the time they're already flying around throughout the county. We're constantly hearing them on the radio. They're in our area. They could be in Moreno Valley area, Hemet, down in southwest, so like Temecula area. Hey, we got something major. We need your help. And those guys will just turn on the afterburners and they get to us. And it varies. It all depends what's going on.
And does your airship also do the search and rescue with the same crew?
Yes and no. There are some small birds that can go up to the, say, a rescue on the open, up in the hills. They'll spot the person who's hurt. If they can, some of them do have a hoist, if they can pick them up safely, they'll do it. But if it's something in rough terrain way up in the mountains, where only the mountain goats go, right? We have a Rescue 9. That is a bigger bird. It's fully equipped with additional deputies, pilots, medics, everything you need to rescue anybody from anywhere. But at the same time, when the wind gets too crazy, they also have to be aware that, hey, you know what, we can't get too close because this wind's going to push us to the mountain. And that's when we call our rescue mounting unit. They'll help out with that.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Sergeant, could you answer a question?
Sure.
When people call 911, they think they're calling Banning PD. Could you explain what 911 and how it functions?
So yes, so the 911 telephone system is, it's actually, so say if I was to call 911 right now, it's gonna go straight up in the sky and there's towers everywhere. They're always bouncing around, triangulating each other, right? So if I was to call from right here in Banning, and I'm kind of like the borderline between Banning and Beaumont and county area, right? So it always comes down to whichever line is most available, it'll take you to there. Like sometimes, like say I'll be in the highway and I call 911 and I'm like, I want to talk CHP because somebody's driving out of control on the highway, right? My day's off. Hey, this guy's drunk. But then if I'm driving by the city of, say, Colton or Rialto, hey, thank you for calling Rialto PD. I was like, I don't want you guys. I want CHP, right? It all comes down to where you at and what part of town and which relay system's picking your phone up, right? Because it'll take you, send you. It goes, oh, I think you want to talk to these people. No, I don't, right? And they will, because you know what? Where are you calling from? What area you in? They'll check your intersection, cross and don't walk. Okay, we're on a 40 to Rancho Cucamonga. That's the closest place you're at, the closest law enforcement agency for services or medical services. Good to go. Anything else? Going once, going twice. Okay. Up. All right.
If you call 911 and you tell them it's a non-emergency, will they still send someone out to pick up an individual that's fallen?
Yes, if someone's fallen, that'll be an emergency. Anytime you see anyone that's not moving, that you think they fell, or they might be working on their car because you think, hey, I've been taking a long nap, right? Let's get someone out there. We'll check anyway. So we call just a medical aid just in case. They will still respond if it's a potential medical issue. And trust me, you're not going to bug us. Call us. If you think it's an emergency, call us. Let us determine if it's not. Because if you don't call us and something bad did happen, then we're all going to have those regrets, correct?
I know in the past there's been no charge for that. Is that still the same? And
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a very helpful service, so
Oh,
thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You can put it on her credit card if you want. I'm sorry. No. Anything else? Okay. All yours, man.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, which one of you want to go next? So this is Jonathan Torres, and he's the Public Information Officer, and he's going to tell you what they do from the CHP.
Good afternoon, everybody. As she mentioned, Jonathan Torres, I'm your guys' Public Information Officer for the CHP San Gregorio Pass area. You were supposed to have my captain here today, Captain Howard. He is upstate visiting some family, so he wasn't unable to make it. As you guys know, and as previously mentioned, our primary jurisdiction is going to be the freeways and unincorporated areas, traffic laws, enforcement, crashes, all that good stuff. I was able to pull our most recent stats from this past Memorial Day weekend, which took place from Friday evening through the end of Monday. Let's see here. We have 102 CHP offices in the state. We ranked number 10 in the state for that weekend. we issued 526 citations, 45 verbal warnings, 12 DUIs, and unfortunately, we had 2 fatalities this weekend, or this past weekend. But 10th in the state out of 102. I mean, we're going up against offices, LA, CHP, San Diego, Sacramento, San Francisco, all those big areas, and we ranked number 10. So just know that your local CHP office is working very hard. Thank you. A couple of departmental updates that I have. We just got approved for 4 motor officer positions for this area, so hopefully within, before the end of this year, you'll be seeing some motorcycle CHP officers here on the 1060 freeway, down in the unincorporated Hemet, Winchester area. And as you guys may know, those guys are hammers. They were gonna just go after those big rigs, go after those speeders, go after whatever it is that's causing problems out there, and really address those traffic issues. We just recently got, a couple of weeks ago, some of you may have heard already of our Dodge Durango. It's a specially marked patrol vehicle is what they call it. Basically, it just maintains the manufacturer's paint, which ours is like a midnight blue. There's no black and white, there's no overhead lights. All the lights are integrated into the patrol car. The California Highway Patrol logo does not have any color. It's more like a stealth gray, reflective color. And the idea is that often we get a lot of people calling in and saying, hey, where are you guys at? This guy's driving crazy. But the reality is when we're out there driving, people are behaving normally. So the idea is that these cars will blend in just enough for them, to be on regular patrol and do whatever reckless act they're going to do. That way we can witness the action and take enforcement action, right? A lot of the things we have to see in order to take enforcement action. That's all I got. I mean, I have, if there's any questions, I'll try to answer them. If they're above my pay grade, I'll run them up the chain and get an answer for you guys. But
Go ahead, Linda first.
When you say number 10 in the state, number 10 what?
number 10 is great. I mean,
But number 10 doing what?
as far as citations and
The number of?
number of citations, yes,
Number 10 in the state
yes, for
Of-
for CHP areas, yes,
for CHP areas. So this weekend, you were number 10 in the number of citations and all the rest
Correct.
in the state?
correct.
I didn't realize we were so busy.
We have some very hardworking officers here, and we're very lucky to have them. So.
Hi. Yes, I'm just wondering how large is your staff, I assume, across the street?
Yeah, we are the office across the street here. Our numbers have improved greatly. We are still understaffed, unfortunately, but we are up to about 44, 45 officers that can work patrol. That number is up. I transferred here about a year and a half ago from Rancho Cucamonga. When I got here, we were about like 25, 26. So we've almost doubled. And you can definitely, as you can see on the stats, see the impact that has.
Yeah, I noticed you mentioned the high-performance vehicles that you got. I also read an article that said you had some Dodge Daytonas amongst those. By the way, I saw the Dodge Durango over here by Hargrave a couple of days ago. And you're right, you call it midnight blue?
It's like a midnight blue
It's
color.
black.
Yeah, it looks. Yeah, it's almost black, but if it gets the right light, you can see the
Yeah.
blue.
Okay, but do you have any, I'm gonna call them, I guess they're geared for high-speed pursuit?
The Durangos?
The Durango and the Daytona, if that's what it was.
We don't have Daytona. The Durangos do have a Hemi engine, so they do drive a little better. The other car that they're coming out with is a Camaro.
Okay.
That one's got all the nice features and stuff, but that one is going to be a little bit more few and far between. I think they're sending one per division, so we might see it for like a month out of the year in this area. and then it goes to someone else.
That's pretty well disguised, isn't
Yeah.
it?
That's right, yeah.
I see a big problem myself in about the last 5 years or so. Seems like the big rigs are 4 abreast on 4-lane freeways and 3 abreast on 3-lane freeways. And it's against the law as far as I know, last time I took the driver's test, and read the books. Is that something you guys have a lot of problems with? Because, boy, we sure do.
Sir, that's one of our biggest problems here at the Sanger.
What
County Pass.
happened? How come they do it?
Well, we're addressing it. We've created a special enforcement unit. So one day out of the week, I'm not going to tell you guys what day of the week it is, but
Tell me what day so I can drive.
No, in all honesty, it's random every week. But
Oh,
we
I
have what we
understand.
call in-house. We call it Trucker Tuesday or Trucker Wednesday, Trucker Thursday, whatever it is. And basically, we just go out, and those guys and girls, they just go out, and their primary focus is commercial vehicle enforcement, primarily out of lane violations. So Monday through Friday, you might see 5 or 6 patrol cars out here on the 10. Maybe on the day that you're out there, that's the wrong day. So.
Right down here where the construction is, like in Kaipa, where all those barriers are.
Right.
And the lanes change. Boy, every time I go to Redlands or Loma Linda a lot, and every time I go there, it's just unbelievable. Well, you know how it is, but
right.
It's horrible. Can we expect to see it better?
The commercial enforcement, yes, yeah, we're cranking out numbers. Unfortunately, because a lot of these commercial vehicles are driving from state to state. They're traveling through maybe every once in a while, or they're unfamiliar with our laws, and so it's just going to be an ongoing issue. But we are doing our best to address it. All right, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you so much. Okay, what you have also been waiting for also, this is Chief Assistant District Attorney John Aki. Did I say that right? Thank you. So he's going to stay down there because he's got a presentation, so just pay attention.
Good
Please.
afternoon. Thank you, Michelle. First of all, I'd like to thank Michelle and Sun Lakes for inviting the District Attorney's Office to be here. Second, first of all, I want to give another hand to our brave law enforcement officers who presented today. They're amazing individuals. I've learned that over a 30-year career as a prosecutor. I've been here in Riverside County my entire career. Previous to that, I served in the military, and then I thought I was going to be a basketball player. Why are you laughing? That didn't turn out for me, but I went to law school at night, and I became a prosecutor after that, and only worked here in Riverside County. I also want to thank 2 dear friends of ours. Sun Lakes is near and dear to my heart. I'm usually out here once a week to visit my friends Tom and Linda Garner, and I thank them for being here today. So Tom and Linda, thank you. They're wonderful people if you don't know them. So I was asked to give a presentation on our office, and before I do that, I think they're going to bring that up on the screen in a second. I worked in the District Attorney's Office as a trial lawyer in the beginning of my career. I specialized eventually in gangs, homicides, and capital litigation. Capital litigation is death penalty prosecutions. I did that for about 20 years before I started working as the chief assistant. Now, as the chief assistant for the last 11 years, I oversee the entire operation of the District Attorney's Office. We have about 800 personnel. We file about 60,000 cases a year. That is a lot. We are, if you care to know, we are the 10th largest district attorney's office in the United States. We're the 4th largest in California. We have, I think I told you, 800 personnel and about almost 300 district attorneys. So we are a very large law firm that represents the constituents, you, the people of the state of California. So, what is it that the district attorney's office does? What do we do? I'll go over this pretty quick, but basically we enforce the laws as they are written and not as we wish them to be. So some of you who follow the news oftentimes say, well, why can't they prosecute it this way? Or why don't we do it that way? And it's because we do it as it is written, not as we wish it were. Our main concern is to find the truth. And that may not seem that it happens like that in regular daily life. If you watch the television, you see court cases and you see what happens and you think, well, that guy was guilty as sin. I could see that right here from watching the TV. But it doesn't really happen that way. Our job is to seek the truth, wherever that may lead, whatever the evidence says and what the facts do. And so the way cases come to us are by our brave law enforcement officers who investigate cases, they make arrests, they submit the cases to our office, and then we determine whether or not we should file criminal charges. So if in fact a crime has occurred and you're a witness or a victim, the first person you really want to call are always law enforcement. And then they'll contact our office and then we'll be in contact with you. In a nutshell, what do we do? I used PAR because this is a great golf community here and I figured you'd understand. So it really stands for prevention, accountability, and restorative justice. Prevention is pretty much this. And I'll leave that up there for you to read, but I'll give you one sobering statistic. 75% of all people in prison do not have a high school education or degree. So what we thought is that it's so important to get these individuals a high school diploma, to get individuals and catch them before they drop out of high school. So we have programs designed to target that demographic of people, children. We go into schools, we go in through the school accountability programs, and we make sure that parents are ensuring that their children are attending school and getting through that. It's so important because if they drop out, they have that very real possibility of ending up in prison. These are some of the programs that we run through the district attorney's office aimed at prevention. Also, I'll leave this presentation with Michelle and you can get a copy of it anytime you wish. Accountability, it's traditional, like what you see on Law and Order, what you see on television. When arrests are made and they're submitted to the district attorney's office, we then prosecute them, and these are some of the things that we do. Traditionally, what we have are the misdemeanor and assaultive type crimes that are your batteries, your DUIs, your low-level thefts that occur in the stores. We also prosecute general felonies, which are robberies and assaults. We have prison crimes because we have 2 prisons out in the east end of our county. And then we have specialized units. We have homicide, vehicular homicides, cold cases, and you can see the list of things that we do as specialties. We also work with the Sheriff's Department and all law enforcement agencies across the county. One of our teams is called the Gang Impact Team. We work with the Sheriff's Office, with Banning PD, Beaumont, Palm Springs. We get together in a task force and we tackle organized crime, we tackle street sales of narcotics, weapons, human trafficking. We also have human trafficking task forces across the county that operate on children that are exploited or sex workers that are exploited across the county. So these are some of our task forces that we've started or have been working with for years to ensure that we also multiply the effect of our law enforcement. So they work on our teams with us, we work on some of their teams as well, so that you're really covered or have a 360 surrounded coverage here, especially in Banning. You have the sheriffs, you have Beaumont, you have Banning PD, and then you have our office coordinating with them to take on some of the organized crime in this area. I'm not saying that this is a hotbed of that, so don't get too worried about it, but that's what we do. And then we have restorative justice. We're not all about throwing people in jail and locking them up forever. We want to make sure that if there's a way to get them back out into the community to be more productive citizens, we try that as well. So we have our mental health courts that deal with people who have mental health problems or have been suffering from mental health problems. We have our drug courts that work with our people who are addicted to narcotics. We have a homeless court. That's a newer, I guess, it's a newer court that we set up to try and stem the tide of these homeless people who are out there suffering either from mental illness, homelessness. They're veterans who've returned who have no way to integrate into society, and we work with them as well. And we do that as well through our Veterans Court. So what we try to do is restore them back to some semblance of normalcy so that they can operate in a orderly society. Now, I'm sorry, I'll be here for questions. Hopefully, I'll be able to answer your questions. I won't be as entertaining as our young sheriffs here, but. And by the way, man, these guys, they're like linebackers for the Rams in their off season, so they're pretty amazing. Anyway, what does it mean to do work in the district attorney's office, and why do I do it? You know, I've always wanted to help people. I'm just telling you my own story. I grew up in Hawaii. I was born and raised there. I really love surfing. Actually, that's all I really loved at the time. I thought I was going to be a garbage man. That was my sole career objective in life, because you could get up early in the morning, get your job done by 11, and be out on the waves. But my mom gave me a different choice. She said, you either go to college or join the military. That was at the tail end of Vietnam when she said that, and our military, unfortunately at the time, wasn't held in such high regard. So I thought, okay, college or military. So I joined the military, because I thought that was the right way to go, right out of high school, and I never looked back. I thought it was the best thing that ever happened to me in my entire life. And I always thought from that experience, I just wanted to help people. I'm going to be playing a video for you from a couple of people who spoke at our victims' rights vigils. And what we have every year are these victims' rights vigils that occur over in Palm Desert and then in Riverside. We gather together the individuals who have suffered from the most horrific type of crimes imaginable. Their family members come out to comfort one another, and it's large. It's thousands of people that come out. And we hold a vigil in memory of their loved ones. And unfortunately, I have several names on this granite wall that sits at our office that lists the names of those individuals whose lives have been lost. We have 10,000 of them on there right now, and that was starting in 2007, I think, is when we started that wall, or 2009. It's very unfortunate. So we have these vigils, and we had 2 speakers come this year, and I thought you might want to hear from them, you know, what it's like to be a victim of crime, what it means to them to be in this community of individuals that sort of share the burden with them. I know as a prosecutor, I've shared their burdens. Many of them are family friends now. You can never get over it. It's not something that you wish on anybody else. And if you see the district attorney's office, either 3 things are happening in your life. 1, you're a witness. 2, you're a victim. Or 3, you're a bad person and I have to put you in jail. So I hope it's not the 3rd one, and I hope it's not the other 2 as well. But that's sort of the business that we're in. So I hope that this video is not too overwhelming for you, because this is what we share with the public when they come to our vigils, and I thought you might want to see this.
Hours of June 22nd, 1997. I received a call that no one should get.
On December 20th, 2015, our lives were shattered.
A detective from the Cathedral City Police Department called me to tell me that my father, Reggie Baker, had been killed.
Esther was my little sister. She was brutally attacked at the hands of the man she married, the person who was supposed to love and protect her.
And my mother, Peggy Baker, had been beaten in a home invasion robbery.
That night, our entire family, our parents, our uncle, and all of us siblings stood by her side as she took her last breath at the hospital. It was the worst day of our life, and the pain was unbearable.
Today we come together to grieve with you, to remember and to honor your loved ones, but also to do what we can to help you heal. By being here today, we give sound to the voices of those who've been lost to crime and violence.
Mom and Dad both did their part not only to be good neighbors, but to make their community a better place.
She was beautiful inside and out, no filters needed.
Dad volunteered his time with the Cathedral City Fire Department.
She loved her nieces and nephews dearly. She was an amazing aunt and a wonderful sister.
And Mom with the La Quinta Senior Center, where she directed a chorus.
She loved pampering us, whether it was dyeing our hair or doing our makeup. Those are some of the most cherished moments we had together.
My parents were not wealthy people, but they gave of their most precious commodity, their time and their talent.
The event acknowledges the suffering of victims, and it doesn't just brush them away. It's important that we prosecute criminals, but it's also that we not forget the families and the relatives and the friends of those who've been victimized.
I lost my mom at 11. My cousin, he was like my big brother. My son was a good person. He was loved by so many.
We are here because our lives have been touched by a violent crime.
To everyone here tonight, we may not know all of your names, all the names of your loved ones, but please know that you are not alone.
I appreciate being able to share with you this evening. It reminds me that I am not alone, and I hope that it does the same for you.
By being here today, we give meaning to the phrase etched permanently in granite at the victim's memorial wall: a victim's voice will be heard. So I'll leave you with a couple things. At the District Attorney's Office, we are unapologetic about being tough on crime. We definitely don't agree with the concept that we should be taking the defendant's rights and elevating them above the rights of our victims. We are unapologetic about that. We are very victim-centric. Thank you. And we have a Division of Victim Services dedicated to helping our witnesses and victims of crime get through this process. And they are amazing professionals. They can help you in your time of need. And I can't say enough great things about them. So the last thing I will say is that I've been accompanied today also by my beautiful wife, Crystal. She was a court reporter. I met her in court while I was trying a case as a misdemeanor lawyer. She felt sorry for me and said, you know, that boy needs help. And she decided to marry me. So I'm thankful to her. I'm thankful for everything she's done for me. And I'm thankful to all of you. The fact that you're sitting in this room and taking an active role in your community says a lot. This is a beautiful community. I hope we keep it safe for you. And that is their sworn oath. That is our sworn oath in the District Attorney's Office. And we're glad to be of service. So, one other thing, over there at the table, I brought some pamphlets. One that talks about fentanyl and the dangers of fentanyl and the things that you can do and numbers you can call if you know someone or find someone who is either dealing and or suffering from the effects of fentanyl. That will help you. We also have another pamphlet there that talks about elder abuse. I know in our senior communities we want that word to get out there, because it's not just physical elder abuse, there's financial elder abuse that goes on, and we have specialists that are dedicated to prosecuting just those kinds of crimes. And the last one talks about our victims advocates and the services that they provide. So please take one when you leave. You're welcome to them, and we'll leave them here. So are there any questions for us?
On your slide up there, you had the specialized courts. What is the collaborative court?
Actually, I think collaborative courts talk about the holistic approach to people who have an unspecified, I would say, mental trauma or problem that they're having at this point in time, something we can't specify and say, you're going to homeless court or you're going to veterans court. It's sort of a catch-all to catch people that we think might need a second chance. It could be diversion early on. I'll tell you this, like how many of us, or the guys especially, you ever mooned somebody when you were younger? Okay, I did, but that's an admission.
No hands went up for some reason.
That's not true. I know these guys. So, but that's a crime. In California, it could be punished by a lifetime registration as a sex offender. Yeah. So if you have a young kid coming in, and you're like, what do we do with this kid? I look at them and go, that was me. So maybe there's something else that we could do for that person. And so we send them to these courts to get, help. Maybe there's something going on in their home that they need help with. Really trying to divert them out of the system so they don't continue through this revolving door and continue to commit crime. So that's what collaborative courts really refer to. Yes, ma'am. Oh. I see you have a press badge. I don't know if I really want to speak to you.
How often do you have the Victims' Rights Week?
It's once a year in April.
And it's once a year?
Yes.
And it's in the office that has the wall that has 10,000 names etched on it?
I'm sorry. The Victims' Rights Vigil occurs once a year, but it's in 2 locations.
Oh.
So it may be on a Tuesday night in Indio or Palm Desert, and Thursday in Riverside. So either one, it would be great if you attended it. It's
And the
special.
wall is it advertised?
It's in Riverside.
Is it advertised?
Is it advertised?
I mean, I'd love to see that wall.
We usually do advertise it, and if you follow us on our social media, surprisingly enough, I don't have social media. I don't really dabble in that, but our office does. So you can follow us there, and they'll give you the week that it occurs and all the information you need to attend and participate.
What would be a website that I could go to where I could find that information, since I don't follow you on social media?
It's RIVCODA.org.
And where is that wall?
It's in Riverside in our main office on Orange and 10th.
Can people go and visit it?
Oh yeah, all the time. We're open during business hours for that, though.
That's the Riverside District Attorney's Office?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
This question concerns gang activity, and there are definable areas in the county like the Pass area, Banning, Beaumont, Corona, Norco. Percentage-wise, in terms of gang crimes, would the Pass area be on par with other sections of the county, higher or lower?
I just gave a talk about this over at Beaumont, and I did run some of the numbers here for the Beaumont Banning area and the Pass area. Beaumont is doing really well. Banning, not so much. But they're doing better. They're doing better. Years ago, when I was prosecuting gang crimes, it was out of control. And that was probably about 10 years ago, 10, 15 years ago. We currently have the Sheriff's Gang Suppression Team. We also have our GIT team that patrols this area, specifically targeting gang members in specific. So I think the crime has come down in terms of that. A lot of these criminal entities or these gang crimes are turning to easier marks. They're turning to trafficking human beings, trafficking fentanyl, and believe it or not, Bitcoin. Because Bitcoin is, once they take it from you and take your number from you, it's gone, and there's no way to trace it. We do have a crypto unit starting up now with the feds and our office in collaboration to go after these types of crimes, and I'm sure the sheriffs and the other agencies in the area are also looking into that. But that gangs dabble in a lot of things other than these, you know, what we call quality of life crimes, the criminal street gangs, you know, bothering our commercial businesses and our neighbors. So, yeah.
Any other questions? No? Okay, before we close, I was not going to do this, but I think you need to see the other part of this. So you all know that my husband, Bob Walter, used to be with the probation department. So I'm going to have him come up and explain what the probation department does. So you'll have all law enforcement agencies.
Now, this was unexpected. Anyhow, the probation department is one of the important offices in the criminal justice system. I worked there for 30 years with Riverside County Probation, and basically their focus is more on juveniles than it is adults. We work with adults in that we do investigations, we do recommendations to the court as to what happens on their particular sentencing, and we do follow up supervision and monitoring of those people, and if they fail, then we put them back in custody. But the main thing is that if you have a juvenile that commits a particular offense, all juvenile matters come through the probation department. Now the DA decides which ones to file, but if they're going to go to a hall, they're going to be diverted, what's going to happen to them, everything dealing with juveniles comes through Riverside County Probation first. And we felt that offering the resources there is more important than spending the same amount on someone that's older career criminal that may not be that capable of making a rehabilitative change in their life. So the probation department works in hand with the local PD, the sheriff department, and refers matters to the district attorney. And then if they come out of the parole system, the parole officer will be doing basically the same thing that we do, except that we were more strict than the parole officers as far as violations are concerned. People don't realize that. They think parole is more strict, but they were not, at least not when I was there. Any questions dealing with probation? Good. Thank you.
Thank you. He's been begging me to do this once I found out that, and I said, no, you're not going to get up there and talk. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the program, and if you have any other questions, you'll be able to, we have another event coming in, but if you want to come up real quick, you can say just a couple things real quick. There won't be any questions, though.
This is Groot. I'm a 20-year resident. He's an 8-year resident. And Kobe Webb, who is a retired Riverside sheriff, has started a program with Guide Dogs of the Desert to bring in all the older guide dogs that didn't get placed with a visually impaired person and make them a canine support dog. He is a first responder dog. He will go to the fire department and greet the firemen when they return from the fire. He's been trained now in bagpipe playing. He will go to the cemetery and lay at the feet of the bagpiper. He will go to the Banning Library and sit with the children to read books. So he stayed in his training all these years, so he did very well when I took him for his classes now. Guide Dogs of the Desert needs puppy raisers. We have a lot of puppy raisers who live here. You keep him 18 to 20 months. You socialize him. He goes into his formal training. It costs $70,000 a dog. And the only cost to the visually impaired is their flight or their way to our site in Whitewater. We have lodging. They stay for 30 days. They train with the dog every day from 7 in the morning till 5 at night. And then the dog goes home with them to whichever state they live. And over their lifetime, they could have 4 or 5 dogs, depending how long they've had a dog. So if you're over 40, I do not tell you his name is Groot, because Groot is a character from Guardian of the Galaxy movie that only the kids know about. So I change his name ever so often on our walk if you wonder why. But you can see me and sign up. We'll take you on a tour of our site. We have a new nursery. The puppies are born there. The veterinarian is on site. We don't have to take them into LA to be born anymore. They do everything by cesarean now. It's easier on the mom and easier on the puppies. We had 27 puppies this winter to give out. So we have poodles and labs. Okay? Thank you for your time.
Thank you. So I just want to thank again everybody that participated, and thank you, Sheriff Department. Thank you so much. Sorry that my phone went off, but we did like seeing you dance. So I just want to let you know our next meeting is in July, the first Tuesday of the month, and we are going to have someone talking about estate planning, probate, and wills. So you won't want to miss that. Okay, thank you for coming. Thank you.